Welcome to another day of Smokin' with Joe. Today we're going to make some Jack Daniel's smoked bacon. This is a great little recipe. I've done it a few times and I've never been disappointed. But first, make sure you stick around to the very end because we're going to be giving you a discount coupon code for bradleysmoker.com, so make sure that you don't miss that. So the recipe is really simple. You have maple syrup, you have molasses, brown sugar, pepper, salt, Jack Daniel's of course, and we use a curing salt, Prague powder number 1. But it's actually really important to use the exact measurement for your recipe. I start by dropping in all the dry powder stuff and mixing it that way. So Prague powder, we got the salt, and we have the pepper. Okay, I'll just mix it all up as evenly as possible before I add the liquid ingredients. So we want 1 cup of maple syrup. Just fill her up here. And there we go, 1 cup. Throw that in there. We're also going to use a tablespoon of molasses. I don't want to use too much of it, it's quite strong, but it still adds a nice little flavor. And you'll just mix it up till it's a nice paste. Now I'm going to add the Jack Daniel's. Okay, let's just mix it up. That's the cure I'm going to use for the pork belly. Okay, so here's the pork belly. I just took it out of the package. It came without the skin on it, which is nice because it saves me a step. And it weighs 6.085 kilos. And that's important because I need to know the weight of the meat in order to properly figure out the amount of Prague powder number 1 I'm going to use in the cure. As you know, I've already made the cure. So all that needs to be done is I'm going to cut this in about 2 equal pieces. Right down the middle. All right, so I've got a big bag here that I'm going to put the halves into, and I'm going to add the cure. Okay, so now that half of it is in there, I'm going to add the cure to the middle portion here. Then all I'm going to do is add the second part. I'm going to put the meat down as well. Now it looks like a tight fit, and it is. I want it that way because I want all the cure to be touching the meat at all times. So there we go. I'm just going to add the rest. So on the outsides, zip it up. Lay it down on my pan here. You gotta have a pan to put it on, otherwise you're gonna leak stuff all over your fridge. It's a slow process to cure the bacon. You want the salt to get right into it and right into the center of all of it. So I'm gonna be putting it in the fridge for 7 days, and every day I'm going to rotate it and make sure that the cure liquid gets into every part of the bacon. And it will, it's just a slow process. You might reach in and make sure that it gets into the center as well. Sometimes I take the pieces out and put them back in the other way. And there we go, that's the way I do it. So the pork bellies have been in the fridge now curing for an entire week. As you can see, the color has changed on the meat. The texture is a little firmer. These are basically ready to go into the smoker now. I'm just making sure that there's no pools of the cure left on the actual pork belly. Okay, we're ready to go here. So there's going to be a bit of a process. We want to get the internal temperature of the bacon here to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. But we don't want to rush it. So we're going to start off at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, introduce smoke, and do this for about an hour and a half. I'll come back in an hour and a half and turn up the temperature to 180 degrees. And in about 3 hours, I'll come by and check the internal temperature of the bacon with a probe thermometer. And it'll tell me if I'm getting close. But really, there's no rush. It's probably going to take about 5 to 6 hours. We'll be smoking the whole time. And I'll be using cherry wood today. Cherry wood biscuits in here. So let's get her going. Okay, so we'll start it off at this. And I'm going to 100 degrees to start. And time, I'm going to set the time for, say, 7 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. You never know. Doesn't matter. And the smoke for 6 hours. Okay, that's it. I'm going to come back in an hour and a half and we'll be looking at resetting the temperature. Okay, it's been an hour and a half now at 98 degrees. Time to raise the temperature to 180 degrees. That's all there is to it. All right, it's been about 4 hours since we turned up the temperature. Just going to give it an internal temp check and see where we're at. "140 degrees, so probably about another hour to go. I think it's going to be ready this time. Now, you'll probably notice that the temperature is 217. I came about an hour ago and checked the temperature. It was hanging at about 140 as an internal temperature. So I thought, well, I'll bump it up to 215 and we'll see what happens. I think that might have moved it. And if it did, we're taking it out, putting it in the fridge. "152 degrees, perfect. Time to take it out, put it in the fridge." It's going to be awesome. If you've never had homemade bacon before, you're in for a real treat. This is amazing. And, as promised, here's the discount coupon code for bradleysmoker.com. Make sure you get down to their site and check them out. See you next time.